Hey guys, welcome back to Rocket Kyan, my fellow space tubers. Okay, so here we are again to witness one another spectacular launch of the SpaceX with their Falcon 9 rocket, and this launch itself is a very special one because this will be the 100th flight of the Falcon 9, and I mean to say the 100th successful flight of the Falcon 9 booster. The 100th flight was actually happened before this mission, but the 100th successful flight is today. So yeah, it's a very uh, cool thing to witness. And how are you guys? Hi, home time. Hi, Angel. Hi, Varshit. I don't know. Sorry for mispronouncing. Hi, Maruti. Hi, Divya. Hi, Manoj. Hi Sinchana, hi Tasmia, Suchitra, Bandhavi, Shashank, Vaishnavi, hi everyone. So let's have a look at today's mission. So today we will be having the CRS-21 mission. But before that, if you don't know what SpaceX is a rocket company led by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk, as you all know, is a you can say boss in all these private companies, I should say, the SpaceX, the Tesla, we have the solar power, Solar City, yeah, and the Boring Company. So it's that company in SpaceX is his rocket company, which has totally revolutionized the space sector with its reusability, cutting down the cost, and its revolutionary rocket, the Starship, which is in development, and tomorrow will be the flight of it. So I'm really excited for that. Now we can have a look at the Falcon 9 rocket itself. Let's have a look at that. Now the here we have the Falcon 9 rocket. Let's have a look at what we have in store for us. This is the first orbital class rocket capable of reflight, and it has, you can see here, it has in total 99 launches, and today will be the 100th successful launch. It has 60 landings and 42 reflown rockets. So this is a two-stage rocket, as you can see here, two-stage rocket, which is has a payload capacity of 22.8 tons in its expandable configuration. And what do I mean by expandable configuration? Well, expandable configuration means when it does not reuse its first stage booster. That means it will just reuses all its fuel of the first stage, and then the first stage just falls back to the ocean. But when it reuses it, the payload capacity decreases. Then the payload to geotransfer orbit is 8.3 tons, and payload to Mars is 4 tons. So as you can see, Elon Musk has this dream of colonizing Mars one day, and making humans interplanetary. So with his first rocket itself, he aimed for Mars, and you can see here the payload to Mars is 4 tons here. Now this is the Falcon 9 first stage. The first stage is powered by, you can see this, the first stage is powered by 9 Merlin 1D engines, which produce a total thrust of 7.6 7,600 kilonewtons of total thrust, and it runs on RP1 and LOX as its fuel. RP1 is nothing but rocket grade kerosene, and yeah, that's it. And then we have the landing legs. So obviously these landing legs are used when it is landing back onto the drone ship, which is stationed at the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, literally it will be landing, you will be seeing it, literally it will be landing on the ocean in a on a drone ship. Okay, so then we have this second stage. This second stage is the powered by one Merlin vacuum optimized engine, or MVAC engine as they say, and it has a thrust of 981 kilonewton. It also runs on liquid oxygen and kerosene as its fuel. But as you can see, we don't have any pre-burner exhaust, which I will show you what I mean by that. But yeah, this is how it looks like, the second stage. Then we have the interstage, which houses the second stage, which is basically, you can say, a section where the second stage engine nozzle and engine houses, and it also has these grid fins. Grid fins are used for aerodynamic guidance for this when it re-enters the atmosphere for the first stage flight. Then the payload. So today we will be having the payload as the cargo dragon. So this, the dragon which you are right now seeing, is the actual dragon capsule which is used to carry crew to the International Space Station. But today this will be the version of cargo dragon, the version which will be a cargo dragon version. And what is the difference between these two? Well, the difference is very meager. Like, it does not have these abort motors, this cargo dragon, because this cargo dragon will be only be taking the cargo to the International Space Station. Hence it does not have these abort motors, because these abort motors are only used during the human space flight mission. Okay, so that's the thing. And yeah, so this is the Merlin engine which you can see right now. This Merlin engine is runs on a gas generator power cycle. And do I mean by gas generator power cycle? Well, this gas generator power cycle means uh, it has one mini rocket engine in it. We have this bigger engine, but as you can see here, this is a smaller section which also has some nozzle kind of a thing. This is, you can say, technically that is it is a mini rocket engine. And the use of and the role of this mini rocket engine or the pre-burner is used to rotate the turbo pumps of this main engine. Okay, so first of all, the normal fuel flows through the pre-burner, and the pre-burner exhaust is used to rotate the turbines, and then turbines rotate the turbo pumps of the main engine. And those turbo pumps are used to then feed fuel to the combustion chamber, and then finally the engine ignites. So that's how it works. Okay, so this is one sea level engine. Then this is the vacuum engine. So you can see here, it does not have that mini rocket engine. It does seems like that, but in reality it does have. Only the exhaust is just piped there. You can see here, it's just piped down inside the combustor chamber, and it has a thrust of 981 kilonewton. And the thing which is very interesting about this MVAC engine is this, that it has a very big nozzle. Okay, so if you can imagine the size is like these are sea level rocket engines, and there these are the 9 rocket engines. Okay, and this is just one single rocket engine, and those 9 rocket engine space is taken by just one rocket engine. So you can just imagine the size of this nozzle. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it about what I need to tell you about the vehicle. Now we can have a look at yes, hi everyone, guys. Hi Abhishek, hi Nikit, hi Ramesh, hi Chandrasekhar, hi Kevur Parmar, and he says, please explain the reignition of the Merlin engines. Yes, this reignition basically takes place with the use of an igniter, and since it does not use hypergolic fuel, so it needs some igniter. So before talking about that, let's have a look at what payloads it is carrying to the ISS. I mean, the cargo dragon, it's okay, we know that, but what is the payload it is carrying to the ISS? So we can have a look at that. So this is the first payload, which is a very interesting payload itself, because this is a airlock module named Bishop, built by Nanoracks, Thales, Alenia Space, and Boeing. And this the you can say, what is the use of this airlock? Well, the airlock is used can be used to deploy CubeSat and small sats from the International Space Station. Yes. Okay. So now the things gets interesting. We do have this thing I mean, we do have the smaller satellite launch vehicle like Rocket Lab and ISRO's SSLV also, which is in development and will be launched uh, in near future. But we have this mode of going to the space also. We go to the International Space Station along with the Cargo Dragon. Today, the Cargo Dragon is the uh, cargo resupply mission, commercial resupply mission to the ISS, and in that there could be CubeSats also. But today they don't have. But that is the proposal of NASA, that they accept CubeSats in the cargo versions, and then those CubeSats or small sets can be deployed from the International Space Station. So it reduces the cost and enhances the customer experience, you can say. So it will be used for that. And the mass of this whole thing is around 1 ton. I mean, wow, this is like airlock, but total payload, I mean the total payload capacity of the cargo dragon is 3 tons, and the mass of this airlock itself is 1 ton. So this is the first it is carrying. The second is the HemoQ, which is which will be used to test the white blood cell counting systems in zero gravity. Okay, we have white blood cell counting systems in our labs in the earth, but how does that counting system works in space? So there we have HemoQ experiment which is being carried. Then we have the brain organoid experiment. This experiment will study actually how the masses of cell organize and grow into the start of a functional brain. Okay, I mean how those cell in a baby, you can say, organize itself to make the brain of the human body. So they will be testing that and analyzing that, and all these effects will be studied in zero gravity. So yeah, zero gravity itself is a very I mean resource which we need to enhance, and yeah, which we need to go and take care there. So then we have this bio asteroid also. So we have this image for the bio asteroid. Let me just, here we go. This is the bio asteroid from ESA, and this experiment which will investigate how gravity affects the interaction between the microbes and the rock in zero gravity, basically. So in zero gravity, how the microbes behave with the rock. So what will it do? It has basically, first of all, it has two biomining reactors, so which will allow researchers to research how microbes develop a biofilm on the surface of a rock. And this research will be used to develop techniques to mine on another celestial bodies. So you can say this will be, you can say, a bio kind of a thing on how to mine on the asteroid using biotechniques rather than digging and all those things. So it's a very pretty good experiment. Then we have this cardinal heart experiment, which is used which will also be flying to the International Space Station. And this cardiovascular cell this cardinal heart experiment is designed with the intent to study how changes in the cardiovascular cells and tissues are different in zero gravity. So this is also a very cool thing there, that is going to the space. And we have last experiment is the subza brains experiment. This experiment aim to find better methods to join two alloys to each other in zero gravity. So this will be a very unique thing, because this will allow 3D printing in space, as well as 3D repairing of International Space Station and welding in space, basically, I must say that. So that's the subsa brain experiment which they will be carrying. And hi Yashwant, how are you? Hi Virendra. I mean, how are you guys? And now we can have a look at what is the difference between these two spacecraft. This is the earlier spacecraft which the SpaceX used to use. This is the Cargo Dragon 1, and this is the Cargo Dragon 2 which it will be using. So from the image itself we can see that for the first iteration it used to have these deployable solar panels, but in the today's the solar panels won't be deployed because they are just stuck on the surface of the Cargo Dragon. And then this nose cone is was used to detach from the Cargo Dragon 1, but for the Cargo Dragon 2 it will be uh, deployed and opened, and yeah, that will be the taken place. And for the Cargo Dragon 1 it was it rendezvous with the International Space Station, and then the Canadian arm used to berth it rather than docking it. And for this, the Cargo Dragon 2, the docking will take place, no berthing. So yeah, that is the thing. Now we can have a look at the mission profile itself and what it has in store for us. This is how the Dragon capsule looks like. As you can see, the abort motor space is totally vacant here, and nothing is there. So this is an upgraded version of Cargo Dragon. They used to have this Cargo Dragon, but this is an upgraded version of Cargo Dragon, which can carry 50% more science to International Space Station. Okay, so this is the mission profile. There will be the launch, then the ascent, and pitching maneuver. As you can see, it goes sideways and it is necessary to reach the orbit. Then we have this thing here, the MECO stage separation, and the SECO second engine, no, it's not SECO, second engine start basically. And after the second engine start, the second engine goes to the orbit, as you can see here. But for the first stage, it performs a flip maneuver and face itself retrograde position. Retrograde is nothing but facing the engines first, where it is going. So if it is going in this direction, as you can see, it is going in this direction, so the engines are here. It is going like this, so engines are here. This is what we call the retrograde position. And then it will perform, grid fins will be deployed first, and then it will perform an entry burn. So this entry burn is used to reduce the speed of the Falcon 9 booster, to reduce, and in turn this reduced speed helps the booster to avoid the re-entry effects during the re-entry into the atmosphere. And then when the atmosphere is finally thick enough, then there is a aerodynamic guidance by the grid fins, and then finally vertical landing on the drone ship, which is stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. So it won't be a very big mission. As you can see, only it will last around 12 minutes and 35 seconds from the launch. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So yeah, and let me see if we have the stream now, and I'll switch over to that then.
Liftoff is targeted at
And here we go.
11:17 a.m. Eastern Time. My name is Andy Tran. And I'm a production supervisor here at resupply mission to the International Space Station for NASA. On screen and on top of Falcon 9 is an upgraded version of our Dragon vehicle. We've seen this new vehicle fly people twice now. The first was on our Demonstration 2 mission earlier this year with NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, and most recently on the Crew 1 mission with the four NASA astronauts who are currently still living and working on the space station. For today's mission, instead of people, we'll be transporting cargo, and this will be the first flight of cargo in our upgraded Dragon. It's worth highlighting that all CRS flights going forward will fly from Pad 39A, and late cargo load will be done through the crew access arm. To this day, Dragon remains the only spacecraft currently flying that's capable of transporting significant amounts of cargo to and from the Earth. Once Dragon reaches its destination, it will be the first time that we have two Dragons docked at the orbiting laboratory at the same time. Between Crew Dragon and the cargo resupply missions, at this time we are anticipating that there will be a Dragon spacecraft attached to the International Space Station at all times throughout 2021. And one final milestone to highlight today. If all goes according to plan, today's launch will mark the 100th successful mission for Falcon 9. So a lot of excitement ahead in the next hour. We are targeting an instantaneous launch window, currently at T-minus 13 minutes and counting, with all systems currently go at both our Kennedy Space Center and SpaceX Mission Control in Hawthorne, California. So with that, let's take a closer look at today's Falcon 9 and Dragon spacecraft.
And the weather is looking very
This
cool
is going to be
here.
SpaceX's 24th launch this year. And as I mentioned, this is the cargo configuration of our new Dragon spacecraft. This version of Dragon is designed for up to 5 flights, while the previous version of Dragon can only support 3. Dragon was also designed from the beginning to be reused, so we are hoping to refly this vehicle again in the future. To date, 9 of our CRS missions have launched flight-proven Dragons. Today, we'll be delivering approximately 6,400 pounds of cargo to the space station, including critical materials to support dozens of science and research investigations that will occur on board the orbiting laboratory. We'll go into a little bit more detail on some of that research later on in today's webcast.
Exactly. So the weather
This version
is
of Dragon
so
has
cool.
20% more volume and double the powered lockers. And in order to fly more cargo, we've made a few modifications to the spacecraft from the vehicle used on our Demo 2 and Crew 1 missions. Since there are no people on board, we've
Yes,
removed the
Manat
Super
Singh, they
Draco
will be
engines, which
reusing.
not only power Crew Dragon, but will also carry astronauts away from Falcon 9 to safety in the unlikely event of an emergency on the pad or during ascent. We've also removed 2 trunk fins used only for abort scenarios, and in the pressurized section, the seats and crew displays have been swapped for cargo racks.
I
Lastly,
see.
the environmental control systems has also been reduced in both size and complexity.
Wow.
And while this Dragon will be flying for the first time, the Falcon 9 first stage, which is the bottom 2/3 of the vehicle, is a flight-proven booster. Today's mission, CRS-21, will be its 4th flight. It previously supported the Demo 2, Anasis 2, and most recently, the Starlink mission in October. To date, we've had 99 successful Falcon 9 launches. 42 of those were on reflown boosters. And today, we'll be attempting to recover the first stage on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. You can see it on screen right now. And for those keeping count, if we do successfully land Falcon 9 today, this will mark our 68th booster landing and the 35th successful landing for our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. And finally, above the first stage is our second stage. It has a single Merlin vacuum or MVAC engine, which ignites after the first stage separates. The second stage is what will carry Dragon to its intended orbit, allowing the spacecraft to eventually rendezvous with the International Space Station.
So guys, right now,
T-minus 10 minutes and 20 seconds and counting. The SpaceX team is working no significant issues. For propellant, the go, no-go poll was conducted at the T-minus 38-minute mark, and propellant loading began shortly after that, around the T-minus 35-minute mark. At this point, RP-1 fuel is completely loaded on the second stage and almost done on the first stage. For liquid oxygen, it's currently underway on both stages and should complete around the T-minus 2-minute mark.
And right now the view which you are
to both stages. Falcon 9 uses helium as a pressurant to backfill the propellant tanks, as liquid oxygen and RP-1 are consumed by the Merlin engines during ascent.
And I
began its startup sequence at the T-minus 35-minute mark when it coordinated timing with Falcon 9. It's currently undergoing vehicle health checks with the next big step just before liftoff, when the Dragon transitions to internal battery power. The range is standing by and ready to support. As for weather, a bit better than yesterday. We're looking at a 40% probability of violation with the primary weather constraint of thick clouds. There may also be some precipitation in the thick clouds that we are monitoring and will continue to monitor all the way until T0. Other than that, with the launch team, Falcon 9, Dragon, and range reporting green, and at T-minus 9 minutes and counting, all systems are go for launch of CRS-21 today.
And yes, the weather is looking good. It is 60% favorable. The weather is 60% favorable, and the vehicle is looking good, and it is looking spectacular.
Began flying Dragon in 2012. Our vehicles have delivered some really cool and vital scientific experiments to the orbiting laboratory.
So I mean, I was saying the smoke or the white gas which you are seeing right now for the from this Falcon 9 is a nominal thing. Means the thing is it just means that the liquid oxygen is being topped off. What I mean by that is liquid oxygen, the liquid oxygen, right? The oxygen is liquefied and it is not at its stable temperature. It's like minus something 180 degrees or something like that. So it boils off at its when it comes to the room temperature. Oops, I can't play this song. So yeah, it boils off during the when it comes to the room temperature, when it is in the fuel tank. So it creates the high pressure area inside the fuel tank, and hence they have like this bleeding wells, just like a pressure cooker. We have a pressure cooker. When the pressure inside it actually increases, there is some valve, or that you can say, yeah, that valve is only there, which opens up and releases the pressure. Same happens here also. When the pressure increases inside the fuel tank because of boiling of the fuels, this bleeding valves open, and the liquid or the gaseous oxygen comes out. So yeah, that's the thing. And these are the uh, instruments, or so the experiments which it is taking. And I don't know whether I have the right to this music, and that's why I'm not playing it, but yeah, we can see this. California sent a brain organoid model, and today again it is sending one. Wow. um yes. And because this gravity itself, zero gravity itself is a very good resource. Like we have a resource as air, we have land, we have air, land and water, then we also have this space. These are like that resource, and we should be going using this and harnessing this resource as much as we can. Wow, this is a clearly a very cool thing which it is going. Wow. And from tomato, I just remember that the first crop of radish has been cropped from the International Space Station, and it will be most probably flowing back towards the Earth in this cargo dragon only after 1 month. So yeah. Oh, see this beauty! See this beauty! Space projects, yes. Hmm. Okay. And in coming months. Thank you for that. This International Space Station itself is a very, you can say it is a, you cannot say it is a most expensive human-made thing which is currently operational.
Of the dozens of research experiments that Dragon will take up to the space station. For more information on the exciting microgravity research happening on the orbiting lab, you can follow @space_station on Twitter. We are currently under contract with NASA to resupply the space station through 2024 as part of a second commercial resupply services contract award. These missions will use the new version of Dragon, which can fly both cargo and people. And today's mission marks the first flight under this new contract, and we're super excited to continue this partnership with NASA. Flying NASA astronauts and helping keep the space station fully operational is a top priority for us here at SpaceX. We are just past T-minus 4 minutes and continuing to count down for an 11:17 a.m. Eastern launch to the International Space Station. In these last few minutes, Falcon 9 is performing final health checks on its primary communications, avionics, and propulsion systems in preparation for flight. Just to give you a recap of what's been happening, at the T-minus 7-minute mark, we began engine chilling. This is where we inject a small amount of super chilled liquid oxygen to prepare the 9 first-stage engine turbopumps for full propellant flow during flight. You might hear the callouts that engines are sufficiently chilled later on in the countdown.
Exactly. So guys,
at
we
the
are
T-minus
now
4-minute mark, the transporter erector, which is that large truss structure next to Falcon 9, began to retract away from Falcon 9 in preparation for liftoff.
And it is
in
right
about
now
a minute around the T-minus 2-minute mark, liquid oxygen should complete loading on the second stage, and that will be the last of our propellant loading. At the T-minus 1-minute mark, Falcon 9 flight computers will enter startup mode and guide the rocket through the rest of the countdown. Shortly after that, the SpaceX launch director will give the go for launch, and finally at T0, the rocket is released from the hold down clamps for liftoff, after which the strong back fully retracts away from the rocket, clearing way for Falcon 9's ascent.
wow. So here we are,
Checkouts
guys.
of the second stage thrust vector control actuators are also underway. You often hear people refer to this as an engine wiggle test. This is when we move the thrust nozzle slightly to make sure that the guidance hardware is a go for flight. We do the exact same checkouts on the engines for the first stage, except that occurs just seconds before ignition.
Exactly. So
Dragon is also performing its final health checkouts to make sure all of its primary systems are ready for its rendezvous with the space station.
Okay.
The range remains a go for launch.
And we can see the water tower flowing now. Wow, see this view.
For the last few minutes of terminal count.
Hold clamps are holding, Parmar. The water tower is coming in action now. That means we are go for launch, and we are now T-minus 1 minute and 37 seconds and counting.
We have some white clouds starting to form around Falcon 9. This is completely normal for us at this stage in the countdown. That is liquid oxygen condensing when it meets the warmer ambient airs of Florida.
Wow. Just and at T-minus 1 minute the vehicle will be in startup. That simply means that the vehicle will be in its internal power, and the power from the launch pad will be cut. So that will be a milestone which will be coming in just 3 seconds from now. Hi everyone, hi Guru, hi Likita.
And we've just passed the T-minus 1 minute mark.
And here we go.
Both stages are beginning to pressurize for launch.
It's happening, guys, it's happening. Wow. I'm so excited. This will be a very spectacular launch, I must say that, because the weather is looking so cool and so good. Like, we will be able to see every part of it mostly, and many
reaching the T-minus 30-second mark. All systems
go for
launch.
And
this
it's
is mission
happening.
CRS-21.
Yeah, T-minus 20
the last mission
seconds.
of Dragon for this year.
19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. The Falcon 9 rocket to the International Space Station, carrying the cargo Dragon. See this beauty fly. Wow. As I said, this will be the spectacular one because of the weather. It is so clear, and the onboard camera view is now performing the pitch maneuver, as we can see, and slowly these rocket plumes will start expanding, and right now
T plus
max
50
Q will be
seconds
coming
into
up.
flight.
Max Q is nothing
Falcon 9
but
is carrying our upgraded Dragon vehicle
this
to
maximum
low Earth
aerodynamic
orbit.
pressure.
In a few seconds, we'll be passing max Q, which is the moment where the vehicle will experience the highest amount of aerodynamic pressure.
Exactly. And right now it is experiencing, if you could see the white gaseous kind of a thing. No, it didn't form. Okay, so it's pressing through max Q, and it has passed the max Q.
And we've just passed max Q.
And passing the max Q is a very important milestone, because that means that the rocket is perfectly rigid
in rapid
and
succession.
stable.
The first event is MECO, or main engine cutoff. This is where all 9 of the Merlin engines on the Falcon 9 first stage will shut down in preparation for the second event, which is stage separation. This is where the first and second stage will separate from one another. And a few seconds after that, we'll have a second engine start 1, where the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will ignite to boost Dragon to low Earth orbit.
Exactly. So right now the plume
is that is main engine cutoff, stage separation, followed by second engine start on the second stage. Main engine cutoff should happen around the T plus 2 minute and 31 second mark.
Now it will be happening, and we can see the view from the space also, guys. And I mean, wow, and the MECO is coming up. Just some second. This is a interstage camera which you are right now seeing, and MECO should happen now. Here we go. The MECO, we can see the MECO. Main engine cutoff has there been done, and the stage separation, and the second stage start one. Yes, the second stage has started, and we
and
can
you
see
just saw
it.
on screen,
Wow.
Successful main engine cutoff,
Now it will be
stage
becoming
separation, and ignition of our second stage.
Now the most spectacular part
So
starts
on screen
now.
right now, you have two different views. On the right-hand side is a view of our second stage Merlin vacuum engine. On top of that second stage is our Dragon vehicle. And on the left-hand side is a view from the top of our first stage looking downward. The first stage will continue its descent back towards Earth and attempt landing on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, in a few minutes, while the second stage continues to take our Dragon vehicle to low Earth orbit.
And this is the onboard camera for the first stage. The first stage will coast till it reaches its apogee, and then it will start falling back towards the Earth. And when it is about to enter the atmosphere, then it will fire up its engine to slow itself down, and so that it does not have bad re-entry effects on it, because they are planning to reuse it, right? And the most spectacular part is coming up now. The landing of the first stage booster is coming up right now. It is coasting up only, and it will be falling back now.
The first stage, in order to make its way back to our drone ship, the first stage executes a series of 2 burns. The first burn is the entry burn, where 3 of the Merlin engines will reignite.
Yes,
this
3.
helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. The second and final burn is the landing burn. This is a single engine burn that brings the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to land on our drone ship.
And which is in the ocean.
The first
literally.
Of those 2 burns, the stage 1 entry burn, should happen around the T plus 6.5 minute mark.
Exactly. Now it is falling back towards the Earth, and that's why we do the pitch maneuver. Like it.
And so then we get some really cool views of both the first and second stage.
If we just don't do that, it will fall back towards the Earth if we don't pitch or move sideways.
Those help to guide.
See the views, man. See the views of the space from these 2 sides, first stage and the second stage. This is how the Earth looks like. I mean, literally, wow.
Plumes of gas, that's nitrogen, coming from our attitude control systems. And those help to orient the first stage as it continues to fall back towards Earth. And there it goes.
Yes, Mukul, it is. It is always delight to watch these things. And the speed, as you can see, it is like 12,000 kilometers per hour.
We're about a minute away from the first of these 2 burns on the first stage. And just checking in with the second stage, everything seems to be looking nominal.
And those are the RCS thrusters which are working, the cold nitrogen gas thrusters. The thing on the first stage, which is nominal. Okay, so here we have the mission control
that
voice
engine
also.
That you see on the right-hand side can produce over 220,000 pounds of thrust in a vacuum. That single engine is what is carrying Dragon to low Earth orbit right now.
Coming back, these RCS thrusters are used to orient the rocket in space by forcing.
And we're just a few seconds away from our re-entry burn on the first stage. Watch for those 3 Merlin engines to relight and slow the stage down.
And please, I hope we don't have a cut during its re-entry. Here we go. This entry burn has started. 3 of these engines are working right now to slow the vehicle.
And there's our entry burn. Again, that's 3 engines.
Yes.
Slowing the first stage down before it hits that dense part of the Earth's atmosphere.
Trajectory nominal.
Trajectory is nominal. That's what we love to hear. And
stage 1 entry burn shut down.
Entry burn shut down, and please don't cut. Please.
And we are done with the first of 2 burns on the first stage.
And it is now falling
burn,
back
the landing burn will happen
the
at
Earth.
the T plus 8 minute and 18 second mark.
Okay, it is still on. The camera is still on.
Second burn should last for about 25 seconds, and as that burn is happening,
now it will be gone.
We should also be having another major event for the second stage, second engine cutoff. We'll see if we can
No,
hear that,
actually, that's
as the
not
landing
from
burn begins.
titanium, but it does not have regenerative cooling. It has radiators on it. The Falcon 9 nozzle has radiators on it to radiate off the heat which is formed during the combustion of these fuels. And right
As
now
we
the
wait for
second
this
stage
landing
is
burn,
second
this is
stage
going
is
to be
going
our
on.
68th attempt to recover our first stage, and we are going to be attempting to land on our drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Of course, I still love you.
Second stage in terminal guidance.
The landing burn, we will be able to see the landing of the booster from the drone ship cam.
Stage 1, landing burn startup.
Landing burn has started. Now they will be switching over to the drone ship
And we
cam.
got audio confirmation
STS is saved.
that the first stage has begun its landing burn. Everything's looking great on the second stage right now.
Stage 1, landing leg deploy.
And here we go. Come on, come on, come on.
Here's a view from
Here
our drone
comes the
ship.
Falcon
Here comes
9,
Falcon 9.
and it has landed successfully in the
And
midst
Falcon
of the
9 has
ocean.
landed once again. That is
Wow.
the 68th successful first stage recovery. This mission also marks the 100th successful flight of Falcon 9. It's also the 35th time we've landed successfully on our drone ship. Of course, I still love you. During that landing, we did get confirmation of second stage, second engine cutoff. Also, confirmation of a good orbit.
We got a good orbit for this
And
primary
second
mission.
stage now has one last major task. Commanding separation of Dragon just a few minutes from now.
This is the interstage
We
of
should
the
have a video
Dragon.
of Dragon separation from the top of the second stage. It should give us a nice view into Dragon's unpressurized cargo trunk area.
That'll be so cool to watch. And the separation, it won't be happening right now. The separation will be happening at around T
This is an
plus
animation to show
11
where
minutes or so.
each of the stages are currently in this mission. The second stage has turned off its Merlin vacuum engine and is currently coasting, awaiting for Dragon separation.
The speed, see the speed, guys. It's 27,000
There's a
kilometers
view
per
of
hour.
the unpressurized section of Dragon.
It is right
Now,
now
for a typical
5 to
CRS
I
mission
don't know,
after Dragon deploys,
but it is really
we
faster
would be
than a
waiting for
bullet
solar array
right
deployment.
now.
But as a reminder, this is our new Dragon vehicle, and it has solar panels mounted along the surface of the trunk. You might be able to see it once Dragon separates, but those solar panels are already activated and producing power.
Guys, if you like what you are seeing, you can just give this stream a like, subscribe, and maybe support the channel. This is what I do. I host live streams of rocket launches and space events. You can support it
away
by
from Dragon
super chat is
separation.
enabled, so yeah, you can do that.
Again, we are in a coast phase. Even though the engines are not on, we are still coasting at pretty fast pace, 27,000 kilometers per hour.
The separation, yes, the separation actually takes some time. There could be two reasons. First, the signal acquisition from another ground station. Another could be the final checks which they have to perform before separating this cargo dragon. That's why they take some time to separate. And now the separation is occurring in just a few seconds from now. We are having the trunk
expecting Dragon separation
right now. Yes, this is a trunk view, guys. Thanks for subscribing, Orionism, I don't know, but yeah. This is the trunk view, and
separation confirmed.
we have the
and
separation.
there is a Dragon
the
separated
Dragon
from the
capsule.
second stage.
Wow. See
What a
this
cool
beauty
view.
fly
That
up
is,
to the International
if you've been
Space Station.
following us, looks a lot different than our previous
Yes,
CRS missions.
exactly.
Dragon is carrying approximately 6,400 pounds of cargo to the International Space Station on this mission. A small portion of the cargo represents supplies for the astronauts, things like food and clothing, but most of the cargo represents science going up to the space station. The International Space Station serves as the world's leading laboratory for cutting-edge research and technology development that will enable human and robotic exploration of destinations beyond low Earth orbit, including the Moon and even Mars. The Dragon vehicle is just beginning its journey. It has about 26 hours before reaching the space station.
Yes, it's a 26-hour journey to
Next major
the
event
space
is
station.
Nose cone deploy, and that's where we expose the guidance, navigation, and control sensors and docking mechanisms. We won't be able to see that on camera, but we should be able to get confirmation of it.
Okay, so we have that docking hatch which needs to be exposed. So that's what we are waiting for, deployment of that nose cone and exposing the docking hatch.
And we do have confirmation of nose cone deploy.
Here we
and
go.
Dragon is now, there it is. Dragon is now on its way to the space station. Again, over the next 26 hours, Dragon will perform a series of orbital height adjustment maneuvers with its Draco engines until it's within a few kilometers of the International Space Station and begins its autonomous docking process. Dragon is set to dock at 1:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow and remain at the space station for more than 30 days before returning to Earth with research and return cargo. And there you have it, our fifth and final Dragon flight of 2020. With that, that's going to do it for us here at SpaceX today. We had an on-time liftoff from Kennedy Space Center, successful stage separation. We landed our first stage for the 68th time and successfully deployed our upgraded Dragon vehicle into orbit. Today's mission also marked the 100th successful flight for Falcon 9.
Yeah.
Dragon's arrival and docking to the space station will be streamed live starting tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on NASA TV. Dragon will spend, again, about 5 weeks attached to the space station before returning to Earth with cargo and research. Keep an eye out for mission updates on NASA and SpaceX's social media accounts. We want to give a big thanks to the Range and Federal Aviation Administration for their support today. And of course, finally, thank you to everyone that has joined and tuned in for today's launch. Until next time, have a great rest of your weekend.
Wow, guys, that was such a cool launch. I mean, the most spectacular launch I ever witnessed. That I must say that. I mean, I just don't have any words. This is the SpaceX. I had witnessed many of the SpaceX launches, but this was like simply wow, because of the weather and the onboard camera also looked today like very HD quality like, because otherwise we used to have like 720p to 480p quality, but today I don't know, is it me or but we had some good views. That's what we aim for, right? Yeah, that's the thing. So guys, if you like the stream, you can give this stream a thumbs up, and you can always subscribe to our channel. This is what I do, guys, spreading space flight, space events knowledge to every man on the, or every woman, man, woman, or anyone living on the earth, and that's what I do. So yeah, tomorrow hopefully we will be having that Starship SN8 hop of 12.5 kilometer. That is also a pretty exciting thing, and I'll try to stream that also. Yeah, and if you want to support the channel, you can become a Patreon. Link is down in the description, or one-time funding is there, so super chat is enabled, so you can do that. And yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciated your efforts to listen in and go for these things. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate that. Until then, guys, this is Priyanshu Royla. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye.